Good morning, guys. It is now about 5 o'clock. We've been here for just over an hour. I got a bit distracted with the lovely swans and the ciglets, but I don't want to walk too close up that way because I don't want to be too close to them and stress out the birds. But right, guys. Well, we're back. We've got some maggots on the hook. We're about to throw out our rod for the first time. It is now 5:30. Welcome to the 2026 and 2027 season. It's a bit weird. It feels weird. Look at that coming out of my mouth already. We've done just over a year of YouTube now. Still at 45 subscribers. We are stuck at that. But yeah, I'm just going to run through the video, or this video anyway, about how we're going to approach this swim, how we're going to fish it, the rigs, the line, you know, the hooks, the bait. Same as normal. However, I have got to talk to you guys about the last video because a lot of people seem to have a problem with the last video. And to be honest with you, the river is in need of help. The fishing has gone poor over the last couple of years. You used to come down here and catch a handful size roach or maggot, and now you'd be lucky to catch anything. So today really is just a test, but I've found that most of the roach and perch now are small, and when I have had the odd chub, they've been decent size, but they ain't as big as what they used to be. So is the river dying off? Is there something in the water that's polluting it, or are the fish just generally moving completely upstream? Because if they do go further up, then the thing is they've got the park, Colchester Park, and you can't fish in Colchester Park. In certain areas of Colchester Park it's a bit shallower, it's a bit deeper. In certain areas, you know, a bit wider, a bit narrower. But as you go further up through the park, there is a weir. So it makes me question if the weir is where they are. I don't think I could have got that any closer to that back without getting it caught on the other side. Now, if I was a perch or a chub, I'd get over the back there. Wouldn't you guys? But yeah, no, so the river is in need of help, and it's not just me. There is a couple of other people that have stated the same thing. Oh, I snagged onto something. I lost something there. Still got my maggots and stuff, so that's a blessing. Yeah, it's not just me. There's been a couple of other anglers say similar things that live local and have fished this place over a few years, and it's gone from being looked after because it used to be owned by a club to just being allowed to do whatever it wants. And it's like, if you've been here from day one, you will know that I've had some absolutely stunning fish off this place, off this river, all the way from some lovely looking perch with nothing wrong with them, lovely roach and chub, to massive carp. So this place has got the opportunity to thrive, and that's not what the issue is. The issue is that it might, for me and 4 other anglers that I've spoken to, have stated that if their council had looked after the pathways and the bushes and cut out more areas, not just for anglers but for families to sit and have lunch with their kids and stuff like that, you know, for people to enjoy it, general public to enjoy it, I think this place would be more busier. But there's nowhere, you know, you got dogs that are being walked off the lead, being allowed to just, well, like you've seen it, I know it's not all owners. As a dog owner myself, I pick my dog mess up, but there has been a couple of owners that I've seen walk down here, and I've literally fishing, got my pole and my roller behind me, and as I'm shipping back onto my roller because I've got a little roach on or something, I've watched a dog poo at the pathway, and the woman's just carrying on walking after looking at me and looking at a dog. Now I know, like, I don't know, just it would be nicer for this place to look a bit more livelier. As I said, I wouldn't mind paying £2 to fish this if it was looked after. You know, it is free fishing, so I ain't going to complain at the moment, but I don't know, it frustrates me, it absolutely boils me blood about it, because I've had to come all the way down here and I'm going to have to get a taxi home again. There's no way I'm going to be able to walk home after this. Right, we are fishing, as you can see. The float is actually out there. Welcome to the 2026 and 2027 season now. Feels weird saying that in my mouth and that coming out of my mouth. But yeah, so I'm going to talk you through, you know, line, rod of choice, reel of choice, things like that. But mainly, I also want to talk about the last video I made. Because that does need a bit of a talk, because some people don't understand clickbait. Some people don't understand where I'm actually coming from, and there is a bit of sense behind it, a bit of truth behind it. And yeah, not everyone, but yeah, I'm going to stop that conversation there. But we are going to talk about that in a bit. So, rod of choice. I've got a 12-foot Red Range float rod. Probably would have preferred a 13 to 14, but not casting out miles, not using a massive float. So a 12-foot's perfectly fine for me. I'm happy with a 12-foot. However, the reel is a Nitro 4000. We're loaded with 6-pound line, down to 3-pound 2-ounce bottom. So seconds, I shall come back. Yeah, down to 3-pound 2-ounce bottom with a size 16 hook on it. So I'm just trying to make sure that line don't go under the lilies. I've already been caught underneath that once. Yeah, down to size 16. I'm fishing with 2 maggots, a red and a white at the moment. See if we can just pick up anything, something small, something big, something tiny. If needs be, I can swap it down to a size 20, because I have got them in the box, little tackle box. But yeah, we've come down here this morning. I chose this peg because of the features. That was mainly the only reason, to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and chat to you and say, yeah, it's because I've had fish out here in the past. But it was mainly just the features that made me fancy it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so that's basically it. I'm just fishing, as you've seen from the past little clip that I made. I'm just fishing over the back there, along them nettles, and down to the right side. And yeah, just down to the right side basically. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a worm on actually. Right, change back over to a worm. Chop him in half. Chop him in half. Put him in the ground, the other half in the ground, like, let him soak that up. I'm just going to tip him off with a... So no, I'm not buying any more maggots from Angling Direct whilst we're on this topic of bait, because when I do, they just absolutely sweat, and I'll put them in a tub that's breathable. I'll get mazed with them. I think I'm going to start getting sawdust actually. But it is ridiculous that I've had these maggots for less than, well, what's the day today? Tuesday. I brought them on Thursday, I think it was, or Friday. Thursday, it was Thursday that I brought them. Brought them Thursday, so 4 days, and they're already sweating. They're already like, and I literally got home. I understand they're in the back of a car, but it was for less than 20 minutes. But yeah, I put them in the car and stuff, and you know, done what I had to do, put the stuff away, then put the maggots in that way. And they'd already started sweating. But yeah, so anyway, that's that. Rant and rave done. Let's move on to the bigger thing and the bigger issue at the moment that I've got. Some of you guys are commenting on the previous video. I have not got a problem with that. If I did, I would have had comments turned off. That's not what the issue is. The issue is what some of you are putting. And I'm all for feedback. I'm all for, you know, taking on what you guys are saying. You know, if you guys said, oh, I want to see more feeder fishing, I'd do a bit more feeder fishing. However, when you guys are starting to use, well, I don't know what was actually fully said, but when you guys are starting to be a bit more profanity issued, I can't help it when YouTubers then blocking them comments. So I can't accept your feedback because I can't read it. But it just says that you've commented, but when I go on there, there's no comment made, so either you've deleted it or whatnot else. But there was one where it did say YouTubers blocked this comment. So I've banned all swear words. I banned anything like that. So obviously someone swore and it's blocked their comment out. And to be honest with you, I did see it, I did read through it. I don't accept your feedback because you were swearing directly towards me. If you had just put it in a sensible way, I would have read it. Put it on there, I would have allowed it to go on there. Oh. But yeah. But no, I think personally, I do believe this river could be looked after a bit more. Not just from us anglers. I don't see why us anglers should have to look after this river when it is down to the council to maintain the banks. It's like asking a normal car driver to fill in the potholes. You know, it's like asking the general public to fill in potholes on the road. It's not down to the general public to fill that in. That's down to the council. But it's not just. I'm not annoyed, and I'm not the only angler. I'm not annoyed at the fact that the banks are so overgrown, because I don't mind, you know, beating my way through the bush a little bit. Naughty. That was naughty, wasn't it? Cheeky. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, it's nice to have the rivers like that. It'd be nice to have it trimmed down where you can actually see the river. I was on FaceTime to my partner this morning on the way down here because it was absolutely hammering it down. And I said to her, you know, you can't even see the river from here because the reeds and that is so high. And with everything we've got going on down here at the moment, I mean, last year, a guy got, I think he ended up with a fine. He was fishing with just a reel, no rod, no net, no forceps, just a reel and a backpack. So he got issued a fine by EA. And yeah. But I bet they're going to be busy today out checking rod licences. I'm hoping to bump into one, because it'd be nice to hear what they've got to say about the river. But the river, as I said, the river itself, I said this to a comment, I can't remember the person's name, so I do apologise. But I did put in the comment myself that, and replied to someone's comment, that the river itself, even though it's choked full of weed, it is stunning. I've had, you know, I can't fault this river. I've had them PV carp off this river. I've had 3 nice chub when I didn't even think I'd catch them. Thought I was just coming down here for a couple of roach and stuff and end up with 3 nice chub. I'm not complaining with that. So this river has thrown things at me when I've not expected them. I've had pike on a feeder, on a worm on a feeder. So it's just little things like that really, that the unexpected can happen from off this river. So I've come down here today expecting to catch some perch, roach and, you know, chub. I don't know what, you can never ever sit here and say, you know, this river, this is what you're going to go down it and you're going to catch it, because this river just throws everything at you. And I think the worst part is this river isn't stocked the way other rivers are. You know, you're not going to come down here with a pole and catch just pure roach if you put maggots on. You know, you're going to catch a bit of everything when you put a maggot on down at a river and stuff like that. Whereas down here, it's like you put a maggot on, you can end up with a carp. You know, last year, January the 3rd, when I come fishing down here, but further down towards the weir, because I could actually get into the swim, I was fishing with pinkies, if I remember correctly anyway. It was pinkies, casters, maggots. They were my three baits of choice. Pinkies, casters, maggots. And I did have some worms, but I didn't put any in. And that day I just wanted to fish for the odd perch, the odd roach on pinkies. And catch maybe some chub on casters, because I did have them out prior to that going that day. And I went down there with a pole. And I sat there and I was fishing, and this was what blew me away. As I sat there, I was fishing, and I literally just catapulted out some casters and some pinkies at the same time after feeding the ground bait. And this, I'd say, 5 to 6 pound carp just rolled. Literally just rolled on the top. And I was like, okay, so there's carp in it. So then it made me want to get the top kit out, the heavier top kit out with a bit better elastic. And I thought, I'm not going to fish over the top heavy. They're still river fish. They're still not used to this sort of, you know, thick line malarkey. So I had 6 pound main line, I think it was. I don't think I've got a fish on. What is it? Oh, I have got a fish on. It's a stick fish. It just shows how good 3 pound 2 ounce bottom is, doesn't it? That's it. That's long enough, don't it? Oh. Yeah, there's lots of snags in here, but not bothered. Just happy to be out. Happy to be out fishing. But yeah, as I was saying, sorry, where was I? Yeah, so I was just put on the everything, and then I saw the carp and I thought, oh, you know, I've not had any bites all morning on maggot. I've not had any bites on casters or on pinkies. So I had lobworms. So I put a lobworm on, or half a lobworm, because I chopped half it off, because I only had a few. So, and I sat there for about half an hour thinking, that carp just rolled in front of me. There's now some fizzing down there. So he must be down there feeding on there, because I put some more ground bait in, obviously. Loads of fizzing. Fished half a lobworm, and I was fishing with I remember a 0.75 gram pencil float with a 0.2 gram Olivet, or 0.3 gram Olivet, and that pencil float just slowly went under. And as I struck into it, I just see the elastic come out. It didn't absolutely shoot off like, you know, how a carp would do at a commercial. It just slowly tore away a little bit, and it just come back to me. And that first one, if you go to the first ever video on the channel, it is off this river. And that first one, that first carp weighed 11 pounds 6, I believe. And then at 12 o'clock, that was at 11 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock, I saw a couple more bubbles coming in, not as many. So I thought, I'm gonna try that method again. So I put the lobworm back down there, and as I did, I literally, the float was just about settling, and it started going under again, like just ever so lightly. And as I struck into it, didn't realise how big this fish was. It literally come in like a bream. got it near the edge, and it just like shot off by about, I don't know, 5 feet. Got control of it, got it in the net, and it wasn't until I realised that the blue pressing net I brung today, it wasn't big enough to fit this carp in. And I thought, oh, so I had to get close down to the water's edge. Bear in mind it was -3, my foot plate on my box was absolutely slippery. A few bubbles just popping up there when my float's heading towards now, where I threw some ground bait in this morning. But yeah, so I think it is amazing that this river does throw the odd curveball at you. And that's what I'm saying, it is beautiful in that sense that, you know, you don't know what you're going to get down here. You come down here for a couple of roach and perch, you might come home with a massive carp, you know, massive carp that's been in your net. You might come down here for some like chub, and go home with a massive perch in your net. You never know with this place, and that's what I like about it. Now, ideally, if I'm being honest to myself and honest to you guys, I'd rather be down Viewers River. You know, I know that I'm going to catch fish, and I know that it's going to be a good video, but getting there again is the problem. That is my ultimate issue at the moment, is getting there. I'm waiting on the provisional to come back. Still waiting on the provisional to come back from DVI after 3 months. Put a complaint in last week, so hopefully that comes through soon. But I kind of want to start driving just after my birthday, so that'll be another like 7 months. But my partner's now doing her first lesson, so hopefully she passes or whatnot. That weed down there. Hopefully she passes and whatnot, and gets carp, because she has said that she'll happily take me fishing, even if it's just to drop me off. So, and if that's the case, then I'll be buying the Colne ticket and fishing up at Viewers a lot. It'd be nice to go to a couple of the reservoirs with you. But let's talk about the main event that's going to be happening on this channel. The main key thing that's going to happen on this channel, and that is we are going to be fishing the River Severn from the 9th of July till the 13th. Now, the first day, oh, that was close. The first day, I'm going to be honest, we're not going to be doing any videoing other than the car journey up there and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, the second day we're going to plan on doing a video. Well, I'm going to plan on doing a video anyway on the first day, and then I'll write this down in front of me and just see if there's anything in front of me. Yeah, the first day, whilst we're up there, won't be doing any videoing. Just going to be focusing on fishing, getting the fishing done and out of the way. Try and catch a barwell on the first day. But the second day, I am going to be fishing and doing a video. same again on the third day. But the fourth day, I'm planning on getting some signal if I can and going live on TikTok and doing a video or doing a live on there for you guys. If you head over, if you're on TikTok and you don't really come onto YouTube, you'll be able to watch the video on or watch the live on TikTok, which I think will be a good idea. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do anyway. Go live on TikTok, kind of so that you guys can watch and stuff. But yeah, I'll catch you guys up in a bit if I catch anything or if I get any more bites. Well, as you can see, we fished that peg for 2 hours, not even a smaller fish. And whilst the river is quite quiet, I thought I'll have a walk around, you know, I'll walk up and down the river before the dog walkers start coming out. It's now 6:30. So I thought we'll best get out and have a little walk. I'll best go up from the chair and have a walk. And just see if I can see any decent swims that I want to, or look like worth fishing. And I just found this peg. Obviously I've had to beat down a few of these reeds, as you can see, with a land handle. Just got to float right down that edge there. Because I remember this swim, and I remember having some really nice road chat from here. Then it went quiet, and it's because they were sitting behind all this stream weed here. But yeah, so it's like, there's loads of stream weed there. Loads of lilies. Let me just try something. Alright, I'm just going to do this and cover the top. I don't know if you can see that. I won't move my finger, but there's loads of like stream of weed. That's what it looks like. And Polaroids ain't really doing much good because it's not actually sunny. It's not really taking any glare off the wall, but as you can see, it's like that all underneath, and then it just clears up. And I have noticed that there's like a small eddy, but the flow is coming over the top of the lily pads and everything, so it does look nice. I've seen some fish swell further out, so it may just be the case of throwing the float a bit further out as well. Just got to be aware that, you know, there's a great big tray above me. So yeah, I'm going to stick you here for a second, quickly plumb up, because I've only just flicked it out for some maggots in the meanwhile. I'm going to quickly plumb up, see if we can get a fish today. We need a fish. We can't start our season on a blank. Well, we can, but I don't want it. Yeah, so let's try not to start this season on a blank. Probably the best, not the best river to try this on, to be fair. Due to the fact that it's always been known for tough fishing. But yeah, so I'm just gonna, what I am doing is just gonna give it a little flick out towards that open bit, but most of that flow is actually coming on the inside, so right at my feet. And then it's just like bending round and out to the bend, hitting the bend and going round. I'm gonna have a drink in a minute. I'm gonna plumb up, have my actual drink for breakfast, because I haven't even had anything yet. I just literally grabbed my gear, took the dog down, grabbed my gear, and left. Oh, it's quite deep here compared to the other swim. But now the question is, if I run that along, yeah, there's some weedy bits there. We're not really going to be fishing there in front of us. The rod tip, we're going to be fishing about there. Oh, it's even deeper there. And there's Ardenia reeds, lovely. Lovely. Right, so let's move this float further up. And I know I've just overdecked, like made it really badly overdecked, but I'm not bothered by that. Let's plan it up properly. It's really thick with weed there, but that is bang on bottom there. Rod tip out, length out, but it's further downstream, so it's like just slightly to my right. This Preston plant is absolutely caked in weed. That's a good one. I'll do that bag up in a minute, there's nothing in there anyway. Let's put on some maggots that haven't like been caked in sweat. A bit hard for that one to be done, so I'll put them in a bag and I've got sugar around. I think that woman's moaning about me fishing. I think it's because some people down there do complain because they have to put their dog on a lead because of anglers and stuff. It's a park, you're meant to put your dog on a lead anyway, there's signs saying put your dog on a lead. I understand it's not fair because just because someone's fishing, but I'll put a lid on them just because of other doggies' sakes. To be honest with you, I haven't got my tail out yet. I normally have my tail out by now. So yeah, I'm just going to feed some maggots in there. There's definitely a little bit of a flow, but not majorly. I will say that it's not a major flow, but there is a little bit of a flow, like from left to right, which is nice. I do like it when it is flowing. Snowing, flowing, slowing. Slowing right there. I don't know if you can see the float. Can you see the float? Oh, you can, just barely through them reeds. Just drag that back a little bit. And just hold it there. And let a little bit of line off actually, because I want that sitting at a funny angle. There we go. Just shorten this out. There you go, you can see it now. I'll just lower you down slightly. There you go. Has that just gone out of picture as well, just as I've done that? Oh no. I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't even see it. Oh, there we go. I can see it. Can you guys see it? It's literally right down here. Oh, it's not. It's right down here. What am I on about? So we'll let that swim, because we've been bashing down some reeds, and I'll let that swim rest. That line down the edge rest a little bit. And I'm just gonna just a flick further out. Again, being mindful that there is a tree above myself. Something did just come to the sound of that float though, because there was the wave of my float. I say the wave, like, you know, the ripple off my float from when it hit the water. And then there was a second ripple beyond that, because it like sent the float ripple back towards itself. So there is loads and loads of bubbles, but there's no fish to really show for it. I think it could just be a bomb. Now, yeah, geez, when I was, I'd say 17, so what's that, 6 years ago, I used to come down here and catch them on a whip length out. I mean, it could just be the case that they are there, it's just getting them on the feed. Sinking down. So just watching me float now, just trickle right down the river. And let's just hold there for now, just for a second. There's nothing in my ground bait other than ground bait. So there's no particles in there. There's the odd grain of like hemp. But other than that, it's a very sweet biscuity base ground bait. So there's not really much in there other than like sweet biscuity scent. And it's just hemp. But to be honest with you, I've come down here with maggots. If I ain't going to catch on a maggot, then I'm not going to catch on hemp. But yeah, I know I said it in the last swim. And I know I did say it in the last swim, but if I do have any updates or any fish on, I will let you know and get back to you as soon as I can. What I might actually do is just bring this in and change to a size 20. I feel like these fish are very, very cautious and finicky. Hook or that bait. I feel like a lighter hook, a smooth hook, might just do the trick. It's just on the edge now, a ball of weed. So we'll see if that goes. Gonna get stuck into this. Yeah, seems clear out there. And I remember when I did some magnet fishing, there's no reed on it, there's no reed on it whatsoever. I remember when I did some magnet fishing, the further I went out, the more stony or like gravelly it felt. So I'm gonna go right to the back over there. I think that down to the left side of it. See if I can. Yeah, that's nice and tight. There's a bubble just about me. Just literally about my float just went in. Right there. So it is just literally sitting there. It is moving to the right just ever so slowly. There's a few bubbles from over the back there, so it could just be the bomb. Oh. Let's call that little bad. I'm hoping Rick's just pulled out of that. I've got time to look at that. Rick's just pulled out. That's fine. Right, luck seems to be on the side for getting out of snags today, but I'd rather have a fish run me into the snag than keep getting caught in the snags by personal error. Let's just get that stop good bite down there. Right. I'll tell you what, streamer weed does not taste nice. Right, let's try a worm. Maggots ain't doing it, so let's try a worm. In this ground bait somewhere should be a worm actually. That is the big problem with that. Putting, you know, half worms in ground baits. Obviously, if you know and you're used to using ground bait, if you're used to using ground bait and you know roughly how much you go through in a day, make it up at home. There is no point making the ground bait up. Obviously, that's if your wife, husband, whoever it is, lets you, but none don't. But yeah, that's if it lets you. If they let you do it at home. Riddle it all off. I mean, the missus lets me do it as long as if I sweep up afterwards. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a lovely juicy worm on. Loads of big worms in here. Some nice dendrobenas. Put a nice worm on. Oh, sorry, you zoomed right in still, didn't you? A nice worm on. So that'll do me. Cut them in half and put them on. That should cover up the hook and the problem with the hook. And then what we're going to do is show you the ground bait. Right, I'll start wriggling when you rip me off, don't I? See, that's covered up most of that hook now. I will show you how I've done that. So I've cut the worms in half, and the cut-ins I've put at the bottom of the hook, and the tails and that, and the head I've put at the top. So let's throw this out there, and I'll show you the choice of ground bait. Let's put that beyond that lily. I've actually somehow managed to sink that lily by doing what I've done. So yeah. But yeah, so ground bait. Ground bait is literally just a simple mix and a nice simple, and this morning, because I've done it last night and prepped it last night, it's literally just a simple squeeze, and all it is F1 dark, which I know has the odd, you know, pellet in, like not pellet but like particle, pellet particle, and then I've got sweet skimmer, Sonobaits Lake, and I mean, yeah, I'm not saying, oh, you know, you use any other ground bait, it don't work, but I just find that it doesn't matter wherever I go, at least if I don't catch a fish, I'm still confident in that ground bait. I don't want to be sat there underconfident. So let's see, 2 worms, nothing's touched them, loads of bubbles out there, so I'm just going to flick that right on top of that, or just before it. That's it, perfect. And then what I'm going to do, it must be 7 o'clock because the bell's going off, but what I'm going to do is just going to let that drift around with the worms on it, and hopefully a perch or something picks it up. Yeah, he used to come down here, and this is why, going back onto that topic, this is why the video title of the last video I've done for YouTube is what it is. Oh, lift bike. But that's why the title is what it is because the condition of our rivers in the UK are not getting any better. Fishing's become a bit more popular, especially during the COVID area, and now places are getting heavily fished. Now that's not the issue. The issue is these companies that are dumping literally tons and tons and tons of sewage into waters, into waterways, and they're just getting away with it. You know, there was a video the other week on YouTube from up north, which is even worse, around Birmingham area, I think it was. It was quite sad to see actually, but loads of nice bream and carp and stuff like that from off the canal, and off one of the other rivers as well, were dying. You know, the fish were literally dead on top of the water. You know, and I mean, I don't know if the Environment Agency can do anything about it, but it's something that needs to be cracked down on, because if it doesn't get cracked down, our rivers are just going to die by the end of, I want to say 2050, they'll probably be gone. It's all right restocking them, but if your water is bad, then the fish ain't going to be healthy. It's the same as if you've ever owned a fish tank and your water is, you know, terrible, you know, not clean, and haven't got the right balance of pH in it and all that, then you know that your fish realistically ain't going to survive that long. So it's just one of them things though, isn't it? Like, all of us know it, but there's nothing, you know, a multi-billionaire company is not going to listen to a small YouTuber like myself. If they did, that'd be shocking. But I mean, we all think it, we all know it, you know. It's just a matter of, will they actually do something, or are they just going to leave it to keep going as it is? So like I was saying, we're going up to the 7. There's been a few people saying that, you know, first day of the season's a Tuesday, so most people are at work. But those that ain't at work are probably going to be fishing today. I mean, I am the only person I've seen this morning with a rod in their hand. So that tells me that, don't know about further downstream, because there might be a couple of pike anglers later on, but at this moment in time, there I am the only angler on this stretch, from what I'm aware of, from all the way from the weir downwards, because they would have walked past me. It doesn't tell me that the river's bad fishing, it just tells me that it's tough fishing. There's a big difference. But yeah, I like it when people comment on the videos. It is nice, because it kind of gives me like an idea of what you want next. Like if someone went on here and went, oh, I reckon you should have feeder fished that, I'll then bring the feeder rod next time. It's not a problem. It literally is not an issue. I don't mind doing a bit of feeder fishing. It's not my greatest of attributes in fishing. I would say my strong point is float fishing or pole fishing, because just what I grew up doing. I didn't really grow up doing much feeder fishing, to be honest with you. So it is just one of them things. But I am going to have my drink now, because I still haven't had it yet. I still haven't had it. Let me just get rid of this grass again. There you go. I'll break this one down as well, right? But yeah, so float is just sat there. My float is chilling. even gone under once other than when it's been cold in the bottom. And before anyone goes, so we took bread. Stick your bread up your arse, don't want it. Sorry, I meant to keep that PG or not. How's my reel become stiff? That's it. You know, a bit of grass in there. Gracias. But yeah, no, I'm fed up with using conventional baits, and I say that, but I'm using worms and maggots. But it is nice to find something else that works other than just your simple things. It's like I'm not one of these anglers either, like sitting in the same pegs every time I go to that venue. I like trying something different, somewhere new. I think that's why one reason why I don't like carp fishing. I think there's a fish on that because it's moving upstream. No, it's just weed. But yeah, I think that's why I don't do any carp fishing, I think, because a lot of it involves sitting there for 3 days. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind doing that on a river. You know, bream fishing, tent fishing, would not mind it. But doing it on a lake or canal, stick me in a match any day. I'd love to go in a match for 3 days, like, you know, a 3-day competition. I would not mind that. Right now we're just messing about, aren't we? I'm gonna do myself a favour and roll the fag and have a drink, because normally when I roll the fag or a cigarette, it goes under, so I'm just gonna roll the cigarette. And then I'm gonna contemplate what I'm gonna do next. Oh. So I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning, the alarm went off at 2. And then my brain decided, oh, let's have a nosebleed. So I ended up having a nosebleed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Then decided to go back to sleep for another hour. So I got up at about 3 o'clock this morning. 3 o'clock, 3:10, and then I left the house for about 10 to 4. All the gear was ready. The only thing I had to put in my bag was my house keys. My house keys and bait, which was just maggots and worms. So the ground bait I left in the bag overnight to stay, not so, you know, out of the fridge and that. But if I'm going the next day, I don't mind just leaving it in my bag. It's warm, keeps it damp. I've not had to add any water to my ground bait today, because I've done it all yesterday. So I've done, not just for this session, but for another session as well, leading up to the point where we go away, I've done about 4 pints of ground bait, or 3 pints of ground bait, which is plenty enough for 2 sessions. Because the next session isn't going to be on a river, even though the season's open. Today was just like a little get out for the first day, which I think I'm going to gather a lot of YouTube anglers that are out there, or anglers on YouTube, you know, Fisherman Ginge, or Ginge Fisherman, or whatever his name is, you know, Carl, Fishing with Carl. I'm guessing they might be back out on the rivers again this season or today, possibly even doing a video. So I doubt I'm going to be the only one doing a video for the first day of the season opening. But yeah, we was, I know it's a similar topic, but off topic a little bit when you think about it. But we was gonna go to the Severn for the first day of the season, but My mate has a wedding on. So that was kind of out of the picture. Got some really nice houses on the other side, and then behind that is his favourite place. My favourite place on the way to a day's fishing. And that's a McDonald's. But to be honest, I've not had one. Well, I had one Thursday. I had a McDonald's breakfast Thursday. But yeah, so it was nice actually. I heard a police car, I think, oh, there's a Karen rang the police on me for fishing out of season without realising that season's open again. Because you do have them sort of people down here in Colchester. You have them ones that moan, oh, you're fishing out of season. Well, little do they know season's back open again. I think I had it last year actually. You know, it was a dog walker. I went, oh, you're fishing out of season. I went, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are, it's closed. And then there was another dog walker behind her. But Karen was telling me that it was season was closed. And then the bloke coming on behind her with another dog, and it's open from midnight last night. But we was at, it was Ely actually. Yeah, she was at Ely last year. It was up at Ely. But I mean, I love this place. I do love it. Would it be nice to catch a fish? Yeah. Am I bothered about catching fish? Nah. Not really. It's just nice to sit here. I'm underneath like an old oaky / willow tree, I think. And there's a great big old willow tree behind me. I want to say it's a willow tree. I could be wrong. I'm really bad when it comes to trees, actually. Don't take my word for that. But it is lovely. However, I am going to give you a bit of an update. The next time I'm down here, I think I'm going to do a little bit of lure fishing. Because I think float fishing and feeder fishing kind of is out of the question until winter time, when most of this stuff on top dies off. I mean, thankfully, it's a lot different to how it was last season. At the beginning of last season, there's still a bit of water, there's still a bit of flow. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can tell where the water level's dropped from because it's dropped by about a foot, but again, it's not major. It's still got a lovely depth on it. A lot of people were saying in the River 7 post that the barbel was spawning the other day. And a lot of people were hoping that they'd finished off their spawning before the season opened. I think I had a bite. Finish off my cigarette and then I'm going to have a root around in my tackle box for them size 20s, I think. I've got some light line in the box as well, down to about £1 line. So I can just whack that one as well. But to be honest, yeah, that £3.2 line is really clear. Here comes the rain, I think. Yep. Do you know what, people? Don't ever trust the weather app because it said it was going to be clear today, no rain. And it was only meant to rain for an hour in the early hours this morning. It was absolutely coming down now. Well, it's trying to anyway. just had a small indication on my float. And just bopped down just a little bit and then popped back up again. It's right on the edge of some lilies. I'll tell you what would be great is if I hooked into a bream or a tench today. Even just one bream or one tench would be nice. Because that is the target for this season off this river. What I might do actually is come down here to this specific swim with the rake and rake it all out in front of me. I'm actually getting wet here, so I'm going to put the maggots in the bag. I'll flip this back out. Put the maggots in the bag and I'm going to put you away for a bit until the rain stops, so I'll see you soon. Alright, update. That's now 9:15. So we've been here for just under 5 hours. And still got no fish to show. However, I believe it might have been a pike, but something jumped out to my left inside all them lily pads and stuff. It did sound a bit like a jack pike. But yeah, we've not been able to catch anything from these two swims. So I wonder if we walked further round to the bend where I had the chub and fish one of the other two swims, I wonder if we'll have any fish from there or if it'll be the same as here. Well, I guess, I don't know, it could just be because it's still early. Could be because it's still early morning. I don't know. Yeah, I would have thought I'd have a fish by now. But do I wish I'd done anything different to this session? Yeah. Kind of regret making that ground bait. Maybe I've made it too complicated for myself. Maybe I've overcomplicated it. Maybe I should have fed less. Like tiny balls, like little ping pong sized balls instead of like tennis ball to start off with. I don't know. I think it probably don't help that this river is so clear. I don't even know what's going on with this place because the river used to fish so well. Well, that's the thing. We used to fish so well. When I mean, like I say that, I mean like, you know, we used to come down here and bag up on roach and perch. And catch like at least 10 to 12 roach and I don't know, maybe 6 perch in the space of maybe an hour. All fairly decent size. I don't know, maybe they should just restock this river or something. I don't know. Restocking this with silvers would be a good idea. I just don't know where the fish. I've fished over the bank on a waggler. I've changed now down to a pole rig, just so I can control that float a bit better. But I don't know where to actually fish to. The problem I had with the waggler was it was just getting dragged around. And even if I had it down there, the waggler was just sitting at a stupid funny angle. And with a pole float, because obviously you're more direct with your bait to your float. I've just put it on there. But I can see bubbles come up out there, but it could just be the bottom. It's not very deep over the back there. But I think this place could definitely do with a rake, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing at some point. I might just do that in August. Just rake the swim out. I've got maggots on at the moment. I put a worm on, didn't have well, I've had no proper indication all day anyway. I'd rather waste my maggots than the worms. So there's been some nice, like, you know, signs of life, if that makes sense. A few light rings and stuff. So that's got a load of but I don't know what's going on with this place. Is there a lot more pike in here than I thought, maybe? But then you'd have to be a big pike to eat a load of fish like that in the space of 3 years. I think it's just a bit of everything. It's starting to rain again. I feel it on the back of my neck. That old pencil floats in the river box, funnily enough. Oh, I don't know. I'm just struggling at this point at all. Just trying to do my best to catch a fish, but nothing seems to be working. I reckon if I was to sit here though with a pike rod, or even just a normal rod, like a carp rod or a spinning rod, with a fucking pike float out there, so I just remember a pike float out there on a bit of live bait. I reckon that would go, you know. Right. I lost my Olivet as well. I flicked it out down here in the edge. You can't really see, but I flicked it out down here in the edge, like right down here, along there, because it deepens up and it shallows up, so it's like a deep shelf and then it shallows right up. So I was fishing there, but for some reason the line got caught around a lily pad, and as I tried getting the line out from behind and underneath the lily pad, I gave the rod a couple of gentle whacks to kind of get the line out of it, and as I did that, the whole rig pulled through it, but the Olivet just come flying off. Because it's such an old rig, this rig, that the actual Olivet itself was one of the ones that you just push into 2 rubbers. I had them for ages, them ones. So we're just going to put a worm on. Let's see how that is. I think what I might do is take a trip down to Riverside Hotel at some point in Colchester and just fish down by that bridge. Because they've fixed the weir now, so the water should be up. That could be affecting it actually. The fact that the weir's now fixed, so there's not like constant rain of water coming down here. Because the weir did collapse. And they fixed it. So it could be affecting the fishing. I mean, it shouldn't affect it that much, but I reckon that's where them fish might well be actually, is in that little weir pool. Might go down there at some point with the feeder rod and do a bit of fishing down there. Move this rod to the left there. Hold that one back there. I'm only going to give this another like half an hour and then I'm going to pack up and go home, I think. But yeah. Oh. A little indication on the float there. Can you see it? Can you see the pole float? Just about. Yeah. You should be able to see it now. Because of the flow and how the river is at the moment, that's about where I think my rig to. It just comes back to this edge. But I think it's due, not just that, I think it's due also due to the fact that I'm only using a 12-foot float rod. Do you know what? I was laughing and joking about it earlier with my missus, but I wouldn't even care if I was to pike at this point. It's a fish, isn't it? But it is what it is. We all learn. We learn one way or another. Let's give it another red cast out there. Tell you what, for a little float, a 2 gram float at half goes everywhere. No, not 2 gram, 1.5 gram. It half flies through the air. Should just be coming into shot now. Sounds very busy over the other side of the road. Every now and then, pick out what I can just in that line of flick to the left. Even the moorings getting food. The moorings getting like one side, eh? Skills, maybe. Nah, there's still fish in there. There's got to be fish in there, just held up somewhere else, isn't there? Just held up somewhere else. Don't know, it could be further down the stretch that they're sitting. It might even be further up the stretch towards the actual park and stuff. You used to walk across the bridge just before Castle Park. If you're at the McDonald's in Tenpin and you cross over the bridge to go into Castle Park, that bridge there underneath used to be packed with roach and rub, and you could see them. You get a little bit of bread, you drop it over the edge, you could see them, and some of them are quite decent sized roach and mud as well, about 6-7 ounces. And then one time I was just out having a walk. I think I was about 18, walking back to where I was staying, and I grabbed some bread from the off licence. I thought I'd feed the ducks. As I was about to feed the ducks, this great big chub come out from underneath the bridge. And I've seen people in videos and stuff like that catch 8-pound chub, and this fish looked 8 pound. Easy worthy of 8 pound anyway. Yeah, so what I did, I'll show you what I did, was I was fishing with this. I was fishing with this down here, so I was flicking it out. Look, I actually flicked it out on the place I was fishing with. So I was fishing about there, and I was wrapping the line like down and around and letting it catch onto the lily pad. Because then when it caught onto the lily pad, I could just slowly like that bring it back to where I want it, and it would just sit there. Oh, well, it will when I'm not. It will sit there when I'm not absolutely pulling it away from it. I feel like I need a lot of line for it. It won't work when I want it to work with it. When I don't want it to work, it works. I need to get it in that little bit there for it to easily be done. There we go. Now that'll catch onto that lily pad. And I'll be able to put this rod down there like that. And it will literally stay there, it won't move. See? I mean, my rod tip's in the way, so if I can move this without moving that pole float. There we go. You should be able to see that now. I was just, that's the point, like where in line with my rod, which is in line with like over here, this right side of this little bush, is when it starts sloping up. So it's probably about a foot away from the slope at the moment, or 12 inches away from the slope. I mean, I'm not too fast. I've christened this rod since having it. I've had tench and I've had Prussians, so I'm not too fast. It would just be nice to catch a fish off the water. But I've seen some lovely things this morning. I see 2 swans with a male and female swan with their cichlids, sort of something, you know. We should 8 of them with her. So they've had a good spawning as well. I just went to go take a sip of my drink and I was like, why does the top of my can smell like washing powder? And then I realised it's because I've had my towel on the top of it to stop bugs and stuff going into it. There's got to be a fish or two down. Got to be a fish or two. I don't know what's going on with this place. I threw some ground bait out there earlier and now there's a bubble over the top of it. A bit of a strange one out. It is starting to get a bit nippy now, though. Well, I'm going to give it half an hour. If I have any updates, then I'll what do you call it? I'll start rolling the camera. If no updates, then yeah, I'll update you when I get home. But yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Right, so as you can see, I'm sat in the bedroom with the fan on, so I do apologise for that, but it's absolutely hot today. I come home about 1 o'clock. Didn't have any proper signs of indications. I think I was just mainly getting caught on bits of weed underneath water and stuff. So I have decided that I'm going to go down and rake a swim out when I can. Ultimately, I feel like I've done some things that I could have done differently than, you know, instead of throwing in ground bait straight away, I should have probably left loose fed some maggots just to start with. But yeah, didn't have any fish, but it's not stopping us. We are going to go back down there at some point again before we go away and do another session. Thank you guys for watching.